Welcome back, my friends, to the Nocturnal Prospect Cup, courtesy of Elo Hill Esports. My name's Bull Skunk alongside Man of Class, and we're here with our second series of the evening as we head into round two of the winner's bracket. Regen taking on 303 Esports, aka Purple.
Yeah, it's going to be another one of those games where we're expecting it to be a good game. But that being said, Region, of course, comes in being the first seed. 3 Purple comes into being the fourth seed, and we do have some expectations of how these teams will perform. So far in the recent months and weeks, Regen just has been outperforming Purple in all the events they've both been taking place in. That's not to say that we couldn't see a good match coming out from 303, but they are coming into this being the underdog in most of the things that we can see, in most of the aspects that we look at. You know, what if they've been played last? How's their seeding? How's their roster looking currently? And so far, Regen just seems like the favorite to me.
Regen undefeated here in this tournament, 7-0 in the regular stage, coming in with Chopper and Cool ABC as your damage dealers. Man, these two have been absolutely spectacular. Lava and
Yeah.
Ship in the tank role. Ship an amazing off tank. We'll be certainly keeping an eye on throughout this series. Then you got Magic Ball and Neptune doing the healing tonight for Regen.
Yeah, 100%. And when we look at Purple as well, 303, the main thing that's consistently been inconsistent for them has been their main tank position. All five of others of the roster have been there like every single time. You know, HG, Greg, Ani, Alexio, Zeus. Like they've been there as a five. There's not been a doubt about that. But missing a main tank or like swapping your main tank relatively often in a short period of time really messes with the way your team plays. Those halt combos are incredibly important. Shock calling mid fight, like which target you're going after, is very often laid upon main tank players. So the communication breakdown might also not be as strong. We know they've gotten good at communication without a main tank, so just the main tank slotting into that later. But that still doesn't really change the fact that a main tank is so integral to how your team plays together that Purple could still be struggling with that.
Well, and we have seen Akash here for 303. The past several times that we've seen them, I believe he was playing with them in Open Division, and I believe we also saw him play with them in some recent tournaments with Trial Champions. I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly which tournament I'm thinking of, but I feel like they're starting to get that synergy you're talking about. I don't know if it's fully developed just yet, but I think Akash is the man to take up that mantle.
Yeah, and they're gonna start out with this. Some people have been starting to call this like what you can, China or Korean dive at some point, where you have the Zarya
Yeah.
with the Winston and the Tracer Genji, Ana Brigitte. On the other side, we do see it almost the full meta. The Ashe is replaced by the McCree, which I get on a map like this, so you may be expecting dive.
Yeah, Team CC, I think, is one pioneering the Zarya Winston, but Akash goes down early. The whole point of the Zarya is to keep Akash in that fight. Losing your Winston early, terrible for 303 to start this thing off. Greg is going to fall as well. Regen starting with first control.
Yeah, a good start from Regen, using that CC to their best. Akash never stood a chance, just got taken out by the Accretion follow-up. Goes down very low again, and I am honestly a bit worried about the chances for 303 here so far, because they aren't looking like they're going to be able to cycle through these abilities. They of course don't want to play it that fast, don't want to go in deep, and Zeus even going to take it up by Cool ABC on the flank.
Yeah, Lava and Ship have been absolutely synchronized so far here in the opening 30 seconds of this series. And right now, Regen in complete control of the map, setting the pace. And Akash, once again, caught in a weird position. I don't know if this dive is going to be the trick. He has no cooldown to escape. Does get the nano boost going in. HK goes down along the way, though. Akash finding a pair of kills. The nano monkey might have done it. Now turning the attention onto the Orisa, bubbled up, takes down the main tank. 303 getting the flip.
They will take that flip, and that's good that they can only do it by using the nano, because if they have to use all those ultimates, you have nothing left to defend this point for a while. And now they will. Almost 5 in the bank. And that was an impressive way they were able to do that. They sort of recognized that Akash was being focused and just abused that fact with a nano. Nice one! Stick from Zeus as well.
Beautiful start. HK and now with the blade online. Alexia able to take that Magic Maypole. Ana doesn't usually get the better end of the brig in that duel, but wins that one. and without using any ultimates other than that pulse bomb, 303 wins this fight.
3-3 looking a lot better now. They won that first fight that they had to. Still have, well, 4 ultimates in the bank. There's quite a few for Regen ready, and they might be more impactful, but that grab is huge.
Both teams losing a tank early. It's going to be Chopper pulling out the blade first. Deadeye on the field as well. Chopper finds one before getting taken out by Zeus. But cool ABC right there to finish Zeus off. Get a little revenge kill, get the point back.
And of course, the whole dive composition of 303 is predicated on the fact that it's going to be hard for Genji to lock down any target, maybe the Ana, but she's usually either too far away or being peeled for a while. Not quite the case in that situation, as the blade came out almost as a counter and a distraction for the follow-up of the Graviton from Greg.
Graviton surge and rally used by 303 in that previous fight. Primal will start things off, but immediately smashed to the ground by ships. Gravitic Phlox, Cool ABC once again collects Zeus's dome, and 303 once again running for their lives.
Alexio taken down late, and with 85% counter, you cannot really lose members anymore. You won't be able to make it back as 6. This will be a rush attempt if I've ever seen one. Yes, they're on the dive. That's sort of what dive can do. They have the mobility, but still, they're not going to have a proper attack. It will be one of those, I'm going to touch the point with my toe type of attempts.
And it will be Zeus's toe that starts the overtime wick. HK does have the blade. Nano also available to bolster that ultimate. Here it comes. Nano blade is out. Will this be the fight win 303 needs? Immortality field looking too strong. It was out of the way just now, able to get the immortality field clear, and Akash goes down along the way. Zeus picks up ship. Chopper strikes back though, takes Ani out of the fight. One-man advantage for Regen. Zeus trying to turn it around, sacrifices himself to take down Magic 8 Ball, and there's nobody left to touch. Regen will take the opening round.
And that was such a shame that last fight doesn't go where it wants to. That Nano Blade could have gotten more value, but no other teammates able to focus on that immortality field. If only 1 or 2 extra teammates throw in a ability or a damage click, maybe they get 1 or 2 extra slices if you're HK. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and that means that 303 is down 1 stage here. Regen is looking good to pick up this first point, because they didn't look like they had all too much trouble with that 303 roster when they were playing this dive.
No, not too much trouble at all. Did lose a couple of fights. It wasn't entirely one-sided, but Regen, the clear victors on our opening round, wasn't 99-99 or anything super close. Sim to start things off. Chopper gonna go ahead and swap back to the Genji. Cool ABC sticking with the McCree here as Regen once again faces the Zarya dive coming out from purple.
Aelios not particularly suited for the longer range Ashe. The McCree seems like a logical choice, especially if you expect dive, but this time HK gets the better of Cool ABC.
And now Akash going in deep, looking to focus down ship with a little help from Ani. Immortality field forced out early from Regen, but HK goes down. Immortality field successful in keeping ship in this fight. The Rock and the Halt come out, blocked by the shield. Now it's Primal Rage time. Akash is angry, but doesn't like what he sees. He's just going to use that extra ability to dive right on out. So far, I was about to say neither team getting control. 303 just now starting us off with some progress.
Had it not been for Cool ABC to be able to be picked off in the back line, that looked very good still for Regen, but they're gonna go in now with an application matrix and immediately find Greg.
Nano boost from Akash as 303 tries to counter back. Diving in, Zeus able to pick up 1, but Akash goes down. Magic 8 Ball takes out Zeus along the way. And it's a one-man advantage for Regen on this point. Oh, yeah, until HK and Alexio start popping off. Now, suddenly, Chopper is out there, the lone man for Regen. Does pick up a kill. Will it be enough?
I mean, it's at least an engagement where there's no Genji on the other side, and HK had that blade, which is one of the 2 ultimates they actually had online on 303 side. Regen has a wealth of ultimates here. Should be able to pick up the fight here, but let's not overuse these ultimates.
Starting off with Rally, Deadeye, and Supercharger all coming out simultaneously at the end, culminating to yet but 1 kill. Chopper does eventually take down the Brig as 303 moves on to the objective, still utilizing the extra damage boost from that Supercharger. They will pick it up.
Trying to chase down Zeus. Zeus is a bit too fast on that Tracer. So far, though, 303 hasn't really looked like we've seen dives play before. They're almost playing like a direct 6-on-6 frontline dive. which is fine. Like that can work, but you do want to see them have a bit more focus on the immortality fields, especially. Neptune puts one down, and it takes forever for it to go down. It usually just goes just times out.
Kosh diving in, but it was down to 10% health before his feet ever touched the ground. Blade out from HK, finds one, but it's Chopper who equalizes with his own katana. Now, like you say, just kind of sticking in a little bundle. 303 trying to push in on this point, but it's so difficult for him to break this double shield, especially with that Ant Matrix up. So much extra damage coming out from that objective. 303 just have to turn tail and run.
And it really feels like that's what 303 needs to start doing. They need to play the dive as dive is almost intended. Make them look one way while you're doing something on 2 or 3 other directions at the same time. And that way they can never truly defend against you. You'll have some ultimates now. You need to get value out of especially that nano. And maybe even the pulse bomb. You get an opening kill that could just break everything open.
Defensively, Regen will have the Deadeye, which is coming out now. Cool to see finding anything. No! Gets the Peacekeeper shot deflected back. HQ with the opening kill, but Chopper takes him down. 5v5, Primal Rage on the point, looking to take down Ship. Ship falls. That is all the Primal will find, but Akash is not done. Goes into the back, looking for the Orisa, forces out the Fortify, and still putting so much pressure down. Lava really low, can't even get the Supercharger out. Chopper falls as well. And 303 flipped the point in the meantime.
Very nicely done from 303. They do use maybe a bit too many ultimates. They'll have another pulse bomb and even the graviton coming up close from Greg as well. That being said, there's a lot on the other side, and this time around they didn't need to kill the immortality field because they could boot people out of it with the primal, but they will need to again this time around. They cannot leave that up until it times out again.
Mayfall pop and rally to start off the next fight. Ant Matrix and Supercharger down. 150% extra damage flies into Cash and H key, and they don't survive, not in the slightest. Ashes of 303 scattered about as Regen flips the point.
Regen so far still looking in control of most of this. There will be quite a few ultimates banked here for 303, or at least close to being ready. But they'll need a little bit more to charge them. And the point is, doesn't give them that time. Nice stick on the ship, but we'll still get the Grab Flux out.
Finding 3 in the back with that Flux. So much damage down. A half of 303 looking very damaged, very hurt. Graviton Surge in, and just able to find 1 kill at Magic Mayfall response. Chopper's going to pull out the Blade, picks off the Winston. Now the Nano Boost Zarya, the last bastion for 303 here on Ilios. Gets 1 kill, but that's all that Greg will find. Overtime Wick will burn down. Regen taking a 1-0 lead here in the second round of the winner's bracket.
Regen looking convincing so far, and if 303 wants to keep playing this dive composition, I very much would applaud them to do so. It's not like it's a composition that cannot work, but 303 currently is just not executing it in a way that it actually works. So they every now and then they get the value, they get a pulse bomb kill, they get something with a Genji assassination. But that's not all you can count on. Like, if that's the only thing where you win fights with, where you get that aggressive play and a flank play that works out every now and then sure, you win a few fights, but eventually that ultimate value, the execution of that double barrier is going to run away with it. That's exactly what happened on both of those maps for Regen. So going into our hybrid map next. Actually, escort maps next, I think. No,
hybrid.
First. I'm sorry, it's hybrid first. Yeah, no, that's my bad. So I would obviously expect 303 to go with the choice they do. They go with Numbani, and Numbani is the map where dive reigns supreme. It's almost impossible not to run dive until you get maybe to the last point.
Right.
And sure, you can still go with the double barrier. You can do it, but if there's any map where they'll always have high ground control, be able to run around you, can contest you wherever you are, it is Numbani. So dive for 303. This is the map where they should be able to do that properly, and the map that they then also should be able to win. Because if they cannot win a Numbani with such a dive advantaged map and with such a dive oriented team, then Regen is most likely just going to run away with a 3-0. That's the reality that you look at. Control is not really an indicator, but
Right.
Numbani, a map that's really geared towards anything you really want to do as a team, that should go into your favor. And otherwise, it is looking very bleak.
Well, and then the geography and geometry of Numbani does allow for 303 to play how dive is supposed to be played, kind of as we
Yeah.
were referencing there in Ilios. You do have the option to stage in different locations and everybody collapse onto a target simultaneously, as opposed to a little bit more of this death ball style, brawl style, but just played with dive heroes, which is a little bit of what we saw in Ilios. And a lot, I
Yeah.
think, that was forced just because of the map structure.
Yeah, you have to wonder. They didn't really abuse high ground that much. Didn't really go on
Yeah.
that terrace on the high ground. Didn't really try to go fight more in the open. Didn't abuse the high ground above point itself. There's really a lot of we're gonna fight on the ground and pretend like we are Orisa Sigma, but we're not Orisa Sigma. And then the Genji, we both have one, so it doesn't really matter. And then really the difference is then in the Tracer and the McCree. But all and then on top of that, they're not running the Baptiste. So every single time a Blade comes out, the immortality field isn't there because they have an Ana and a Brigitte. And sure, they can sustain through a Blade somewhat, but the consistent value that the immortality field from Neptune was getting versus the absence of the immortality field on the side of 303, that was really a deciding factor as well. There
Yeah.
was more deciding factors, but that really came up hard a lot of the time.
Yeah, talk about more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
It was more than just a one team had it, the other didn't. It seemed to culminate into so much more value for Regen and 303's inability to take it down. I mean, that's something that's got to change as the series continues if 303 wants to bounce back and get rid of that 0 in the map score.
Yeah, so we will now be looking, of course, at Numbani here. Same teams, same players, no substitutes have been made. Actually, that's not true. Neptune has been subbed out for CJ, and CJ, of course, we've seen them come in here on the side of Regen quite a few times. We know they're very good Baptiste. We know that they can play their hero.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I'm convinced as well. And CJ, of course, can be holding on this high ground with the rest of their team. And only when they dive CJ can they potentially take the Baptiste out. But I'm expecting that peel to be there. They have a double barrier. They're not as mobile. But when that Sigma is there, there's no way you're getting to the Baptiste with a single dive, or with a simple dive at least.
And who else do you dive on the side of Regen? 303, they were forced to just attack the tank line there on Ilios, and it did not work out for them in very many fights at all, winning perhaps 1 in 3, maybe even just 1 in 4 fights throughout the entirety. Because there's just no good targets to dive on. But no change, in any way you slice it, no change coming from 303. They're sticking with this Reinhardt, or excuse me, this Winston Zarya with the double dive DPS, immediately trying to force the high ground, force the issue on the high ground. They find Magic Mate early with a beautiful anti-nade. HK able to take down Lava as well, moves up with the kill onto the sleeping cool ABC, and that's exactly what we wanted to see from 303's dive.
Yep, and that's exactly what you didn't want to see from the side of Regen. They completely split up their defense and then have no tool to say, okay, if they dive us, this is how we react, because they're so slow. Like, they're such a large group of units that all don't have that much mobility. CJ even gonna get chased down here, will get saved by their immortality field. But you can just see it, that dive now gets some momentum, can take all the space they need, and the double barrier comp needs to be able to regroup. They need to be together as a 6 in order to defend against this, because that's how you beat it. Not by the individual pieces. That's what dive thrives on.
And speaking of individual pieces, HK does have that blade. Big fight winner, only 15% Alexio away from Nano, now 10. HK going in, putting a lot of pressure down, and Lava drops. Amplification Matrix from the back as the defense tries to respond, picking up 2 kills along the way. And 303 backing up behind Green Bus. Now the Winston goes to have an Blade comes out. HK's looking for targets, finds Mayball. Mayball goes down. Now trying to turn the attention on the Sigma. Ship can't survive. The slicing commences, and the Baptiste will be the next victim under HK's Genji.
Yeah, now the question is whether they can actually defend. I don't think they will be able to properly defend this a 6. Yeah, especially if Cool ABC goes out. Cool ABC has been playing way too risky. On that fight before, on this fight now, they've just not been a part of it because they try to go on these flanky solo McCree plays, but you're the only target they can easily dive and just kill. They don't even need to go after you with more than one target. You're a good duelist, but this is not the map to do it in.
We're going to get the Immortality Field out early from the defense. Chopper trying to use his blade, but Ani shuts it down. Akash now coming in. Angry Monkey swinging. Those fits swinging for the fence. HK once again deflects the Deadeye. It's the second time tonight. We've seen that Deadeye reflected right back. Cool ABC finding minimal value on the McCree at 3:03, looking to make a clean push through Numbani. 5 minutes on the clock. They just need one more fight win to take it home.
Yeah, the question is will that fight actually come out. Like, honestly, you don't even have that many ultimates if you're the defense. And this is a nice CC ultimate. Gets 3 kills pretty quickly. I think that's 2 in the Immortality Field. Oh, Bullskunk, they look like they're just going to clean it up here.
Absolutely cleaning it up. They've brought their brooms. They've brought their mops. Numbani is spick and span shiny. 3:03 planting their flag. The stall continuing to come out. Wrecking Ball will be the next on the chopping block. Down he goes. Here comes the Lucio. Trying to buy more time. Does not last long. Pulse Bomb misses, but it doesn't matter. Zeus landing the shots. Clicking the head to Magic Mate Ball, and that's a 4-minute and 32-second time bank here for 3:03.
3 minutes and 28 seconds to complete Numbani. You'll have way more time left than you even start out with normally. Very well done here for 3:03, and that's what we wanted to see. It's exactly why you pick Numbani. It's why, you know, the dive is just so good on here if you know how to execute it. And also, if the other team helps you out a little bit. Because cool ABC, I don't know what was going on, but I don't think you were ever in a position to even contest anything there. Just going off on your own, trying to get the kill on a Trace or trying to chase her down or so, or Genji maybe. That's never going to go well for you because your team will never be able to peel for you in time as quick as the dive can jump on you with their entire team. Got caught out 2 or 3 times because of that exact mistake. And yeah, I mean, when they were together as a unit, they didn't even look that bad on Regen. When they were just bunched up, they almost like won a fight with that as well. But by that time, they had already lost the momentum. Like 3:03 was on point. They had the ultimates, they had the Nano Blade come out, and it never really stopped. They never were able to start a hold as a 6. They were consistently members down, members separated. And that's not what you want to see as a double barrier versus a dive, because you need those 6 members to work in tandem to stop what a dive wants to do.
And immediately, as soon as they separate, 3:03 recognizes the weak link, finds the separated member of the herd, pounces on him like lions, ripping him to shreds. Regen didn't stand a chance on the defense. See if they can clap back here as they take to the offense on Numbani. Looks like they're going to go up to the high ground here, Classy.
Yeah, of course, it's a nice position. They shouldn't be too contested since you have more bursts, so you can just stop them by holding this high ground, and they just take a cash straight away, because why not?
That's a good start. Shep landing those shots, showing up as the off tank that we expected. Help carry Regen. Nice halt into the dash. We'll finish off HK and Ani. Chopper doing some work here on the Genji as Cool BC just find the kill on the Greg.
Yeah, still HK got more damage out on that one with the you're looking at the old chart here. CJ do a lot of healing, of course. That's the good thing about that Baptiste. You can walk to the upper corridor. You can basically be uncontested, and I think it's almost, I wouldn't say it's dumb. I think it was at most questionable. But you definitely got to wonder why you hold up there as the defense when you're playing dive. Because you can hold anywhere. You can pull them out into the open and then start the fight out. That's what you want. But now you're once again starting to frontline this with your tanks. You're just going to die. Use the open space, 3:03.
The halt rocks are just too good. And Cool ABC finally finding some value on the McCree. If anything, just clicking heads with the Peacekeeper. Gets 3 in that last fight.
They're just with their team right now, and 3:03 has not found an opening. They've just been going in or thinking that Regen somehow won't spot them out when they're all in a room together, and that's not really how it works. You got to make that space for yourself by going into the open, and that's what they have to do now. Otherwise, this point will go over. They do touch barely in time.
0.25 meters, in fact, but they got to watch out. Chopper has Blade online and is hovering above them. Pounced, ready to unleash it. Now the Blade comes out, as does the Deadeye. Deadeye's going to pick up a Kosh. Chopper chops through Keystroke, looking to take down the Ana. Eats a big anti-nade, and Alexio will win that fight, but Regen will pick up 2 points on the board.
Now your team too good at the defense over here, but with all these ultimates that they have left in 3:03, by which I mean all of the ultimates, They should be able to at least win one fight. They're gonna have Nano Blade or Nano Winston, the Graviton. They can't just halt it here.
Nano Blade coming out immediately. Oh, and immediately paying dividends. 3 kills light at the feed. Zeus there to clean up the last pair. HK even winning the Cyber Ninja duel at the end.
And even not having to use all their ultimates. They used the DPS ultimates and the Nano, and so much came out from the other side.
Yeah.
They only have their support ultimates, and this is exactly what you want when you're 303. This is the point that's hardest to take on Umbani. This is where your momentum stops, and now when you have ultimate disadvantage, they're never going to be able to match that time bank.
Almost looks like Regen got so hung up on throwing their ultimates down, they forgot Nano Blade was coming their way. Looked like they forgot about the Graviton Surge as well. Immortality Field taken out first, and 1-for-1 on the objective. 5v5 as Lava finds the kill to tilt the balance. One-man lead here for the attackers, but Magic Meatball goes down, and the respawns are going to favor this defense. Greg falls along the way as well, and it's just the 2 DPS and a Winston left standing here for 303 purple.
Trading is not good enough when you have such close respawns for the defense on that point. Time is now officially below the time bank of 303, so they'll be very happy already, but they're going to try and extend this fight because they almost have another Nano Blade and a Pulse Bomb ready.
Zeus is going to go into the back line, get the rest of that blade online as Kosh pulls out the Primal Rage. Now, Zeus went down, but Chopper pulls out the blade. 2-man advantage here for 303 as they push in. Chopper making that a 3-man advantage, looking to take down Akash. Akash is going to fall. Chip will be the next target. Excuse me, Greg will be the next target. Down goes Greg. There goes the card into the back of Noombani. Pulse Bomb does eventually come out, just takes down the Supercharger as the Nano Blade comes out. Keystroke put a stop to this assault. Immortality Field looks to put a stop to Nano Blade. No value otherwise. But it allowed time for the rest of the reinforcements for 303 to get on this point, eat more time off this clock.
Dive can stall so well, and they're showing it here. Akash was on the ball, did go down. Ship uses the Gravitic Flux, and they get 2 kills out of those. This fight is not just over. I thought the defense was ready. They thought they were at health, but it doesn't look like it. Looks like with about 3 minutes, this card is going to make it, unless this stall is going to drag out for much longer. It doesn't look that's going to be the case. This will be the kill in the Wrecking Ball, and with 2 minutes, because of course some time goes down until you reach 2 minutes, they will get another chance at an attack, but 3:22 still left on the other side. There is still an upwards battle to do. And so far, no team has been held until 3rd. So we might see a double cap. It might happen.
It's entirely possible. Both teams with so much momentum on their attack run, both defenses looking a little shaky. But a minute 22 dividing these two teams, that seems like an eternity to me.
It does, but if you consider that that minute 22 essentially got culminated by the fact that they held one fight on 3rd on the side of 303, then it's not that big of a deal, because if you hold anywhere before 3rd as either 303 or as Regen, you completely change the pace of how this map's been going so far. If you're able to defend earlier on 1st or on 2nd, then you change the way this map has been going, this rhythm, and you change the status quo where no one is able to defend at all before 3rd, if that.
One good hold on A is what you're saying. It's all it's going to take for 303 to shut this thing down.
It doesn't matter where. At least just do it before 3rd. That's kind of what I'm trying to tell you. Maybe on that first corner after they kept pointing. It happens sometimes as well. But we're going to see the same comps come out from both teams again. Of course, the attack from Regen looked a lot better than their defense, because Cool ABC is able to be within their own unit of 6. Chopper now going to be the lone unit going off on the side a little bit, but I'm guessing they'll all go through this window eventually. This time will Akash die straight away again? It does look like it. Yep. Same mistake. History repeats itself.
Same result. As Akash goes down early. Now Regen just pushing out to control the high ground as Chopper finds himself a pair of kills, trying to find the 3rd. Does get the 3rd, already halfway to a blade here in extra innings. Greg won't last long against that onslaught. And point A, once again, goes to Regen in a very quick fashion.
And you understand the thought process. Akash wants to just get a lot of cleave damage, build up a Primal Rage in like 6 seconds. But that's not how it works. You saw how it filled last time. That one bubble is not going to save you, Akash. So why do you try it again? Why does 303 insist on just holding up there because they don't need to. They really have so many other places they can hold.
Well, speaking of, they're taking a very aggressive posturing. Zeus in the back line looking for the supports, while the rest of 303 is holding the very front corner. Okay, they're going to fall back to behind green bus. Zeus doesn't quite find what he's looking for in the back line. Forced to recall back up to the high ground. Slowly but surely, 303 just giving up ground here on point B. Okay, it looks like it's time for 303 to make their engagement. They have enough cooldowns to satisfy. They're going to try to push in, but now the M-Matrix is out, and Chopper has Blade. Immediately picks up 3, 4. Can he get the 5th? 5 kills there for Chopper with the Blade. Regen just in 6th gear, moving, racing through the streets of Mumbai.
Yeah, Zeus is the only one that even tried to do anything in that backline. Everyone else was just, once again, frontline playing. And as long as Regen is able to stay as a 6, it's when they just keep winning fights. They just cannot be beaten by this dive because there's no sense of surrounding, of cycling through movement cooldowns, of trying to force out stuff from the other side and build your ultimates to win with a dive fight.
303 seems to have
Little bit's ready, though.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, that's the easy win condition. The textbook definition of win condition, especially the pulse bomb in the back to take down the immortality. Oh, but Keystroke gets flashbang killed. No kills coming through from the Nano Blade. Chopper Cool ABC moving in. Orisa is missing for 303 to go out to the point. Cash trying to pull the defense back into this thing with a Primal Rage, but doesn't find anything. Magic Meatball's rally was able to keep the team topped off. Magic Meatball himself coming up with that kill later on in the fight. Now, no ults online for Regen, but they've got the wind at their backs here, Classic.
They do. Only Amplification Matrix to come up here. Greg and Ani got to be ready with their ultimates, but that Cash switches up to the Reinhardt. They want to brawl, and that fits their playstyle so much better.
Rally to start things off from Ani, but the Ant Matrix in the back. Cool to see finding double damage Peacekeeper shot down range, hoping to find a kill, but oh, eats a big bullet. Not even sure where that came from. Must have gotten deflected back from Keystroke, but here comes the Deadeye. That means the deflection's not there. Doesn't even need it. Regen, well, no, Regen got forced off. Regen got forced off by Keystroke.
Not able to actually complete this map, and this is, I mean, it's sort of a repeat of what we saw the first time they defended. They got killed twice as a team on sort of the exact same locations as well. And then, actually 3 times. And now we will see their own attack come out on the side of 303. If they can repeat their results, they'll still be looking okay. Because they still spend less time than they originally get to get to point 3. I think they took a little bit longer than it's on the clock right now, but a little bit of overtime push doesn't hurt anybody. So, if history just keeps repeating itself, 303 still wins this map. But it's still a tough ask because there will most likely be adaptations from the defense. And especially if they can keep Cool ABC safe, if they're not just completely split dove on the first high ground, then there might not be enough momentum from 303 to get to the end, because that's really what that dive is going to rely on. They're going to rely on just winning a fight and then keep the momentum going until third. That's how they won it last time, and they'll need that same momentum to make it there before or in overtime.
Can Regen learn from their mistakes? They certainly put enough distance on the board to, I think, close the gap that was there in the time bank. Is 3 minutes and 20 seconds enough for 303 to nearly reach the back of point C? They don't have to quite go all the way. Regen taking a very aggressive posture, putting down some poke damage from outside the second floor doorway there.
Yeah, not split this time. Good thing. You know, last time they were completely messed up because of that, and now they're working together.
And I think Akash is second guessing his approach. He's going to rejoin the team as 303 just going to ball up into 6, trying to push forward. No, okay, Akash just getting the cleave back and back down. Zeus trying to work coast. I think 303 is trying to get the timing on this just right. They're surrounding the defense. Now Zeus dashes it in, goes to get the kill. Now trying to find Cool ABC. Does he get it? Got him super low, and H-Key there with the dash to finish him off. Now the momentum starting to build here for 303 as they're going to pick up point A.
And they're again able to go around the outside, use those different directions that the dive can access in order to break open that high ground defense. Very nicely done. This time, of course, they had a little bit more trouble with it since there was no split defense, so they actually had to fight the full 6 of Regen. They're still able to go around them and find that opening, That's how you can tell that they've been practicing on Numbani. If you have a good execution there, and Regen might not have been expecting this map.
Big dive in. Kobe able to roll out, but Immortality Field forced out early. That could be important if this Nano Blade comes up, but 2 kills for Regen to start things off. Akash with the Primal Rage is going to pick up 1. Looking for more. Anybody trapped in that tiny room with the Angry Monkey is in big trouble. The dash from Chopper only saves him temporarily. Cool ABC.
Ooh, Akash.
Holds and hard
HP.
continues to move. Yeah.
So cool ABC, like, I'm gonna hit you, and then it was like, no, slightly outside of range. Sorry, you're gonna die. It's good, well done. They will have built up a blade and a pulse bomb, even the rally close to the grab. Regen has a few tools in their arsenal, but it seems that this dive is able to execute them so much better. And what are you even gonna hit with an amplification matrix, and they're all just behind and around you?
Yeah, certainly not a front line to whittle down like you would in a traditional. We're gonna get Blade up with Keystroke, finding 1, finds 2. Looking for the third, but gets stunned and deleted by Cool ABC. But Akash and Adi right there to pick up the slack, find the rest of the kills. The Brig finds 3, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, now they'll have 53 seconds to either just cap the points or lose a fight. They can lose a fight with it before overtime starts, because you don't mind losing a fight if you still have time left. Overtime is where you need to be on the card. That's where you need to complete the map. But right now they only have a grab, and there's a lot in the arsenal of Regen. So if they can lose a fight and drag out some ultimates and then come back, they might look really good.
They gotta lose quickly, so to speak. Flux and Blade out from the defense. That's 2 kills to start things
Pretty
off,
quick.
make that 3. Chopper is gonna fall to the Graviton Surge, but I think you may want that Graviton Surge back if you're 303.
Yeah, that was not the plan there. The plan was to not use ultimates and then drag them out. They're gonna have a good nano on a cash.
Yes!
Yeah, they had to, otherwise the respawn comes in late. They didn't want to get staggered. It's unfortunate they have to use it. But the Primal will still be ready. They'll be able to touch, get in here, and oh no!
What was that? Cool ABC with the 4K Dead Eye. Stop 303 in their tracks, giving Regen the win.
What a redemption arc. Gets so many dead eyes deflected. Gets so picked up on the side when they're just on their own, trying to do their own thing so many times, and then comes in with a 4K dead eye. It's not even play of the game though. That is, I mean, that's almost disgusting that that's not play of the game, because this is just a blade, not even a nano blade. This was impressive from Chopper. I'll get it, but oh, what a dead eye. That's just gonna feel bad, because they had an opportunity there, but we did say it in the end. 303, they yeah, like 303, they just almost gave it away by using and that Graviton and that Nano. They could have just lost that fight and then come in with the Nano, with the Graviton, with the Primal. They unfortunately didn't. It was a good map choice. It was very close, but this really was the map they were supposed to win, right? This was the map that was theirs. So yeah, I mean, they're gonna of course get to pick the next map, which is gonna be Escort. And on Escort, there's quite a few maps that could still work in their favor. But you know, it depends, right? They just showed on Numbani that even when they play that dive, they can still get defeated.
Well, we're going to take a quick break before we head into Watch Point Gibraltar. But we will see you there for the conclusion of this fight. We'll see if 303 can bounce back when we return in just a minute. welcome back, my friends, to winners bracket round two here in the Prospect Cup. We're headed to map 3 to see if Regen can complete the clean sweep as they're on match point, looking to punch their ticket further into the winners bracket. Watch point Gibraltar, 303's map pick to try to bring it back. I don't know. So far, Regen firmly in control of this map. I don't think the dive has really shook Regen whatsoever here so far.
No, so far Regen seems to be on track to 30303. Yeah, that's right. I did it.
Ah, you did it. You did
Sorry.
it.
Yeah. No, it's looking very good for them. And yes, 303 has a decent dive. They're looking like that's
Sure.
just basically all they want to play. Going to Gibraltar, that's again, very viable composition. Maybe you throw in a long range hit kind of like a Widowmaker at this point, but it just doesn't seem like Regen is all too phased about it. Cool
Not at
ABC
all.
got caught out a few times, and they started out a sort of a shifty defense on the first time, but they kept adapting, and we didn't see that much change come from 303. And even when we saw some adaptation, it was adaptation towards the now we make mistakes adaptation rather than we do something different in the positive way. So, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you make a mistake, but it does seem that these mistakes that they're making are far greater and far more punishable than the mistakes that so far that Regen has been making. Because Regen, once again, they've been learning from their mistakes and adapting to them. Whereas 303 just starts making different mistakes. About the same amount, but just different ones.
Well, it's so much easier to make mistakes playing dive. It's a far more
Very true.
complicated composition to try to execute, especially compared to double shield. Regen coming back out on the defense here to start things off. Once again, bringing that double shield. Cool ABC sticking with the McCree.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're just expecting dive to come out at this point. So then the McCree just feels more favorable than a Widowmaker or an Ashe. It's very hard to get a lot of dive off you when you're Ashe, and McCree just feels better when they're more up close, mid range, and with their team in a lot of situations. Especially when you kind of ready to get dynamite on a bunch of targets. But we might see something different here from the side of 303. It looks like they're actually going with this composition, but the Symmetra teleport wasn't quite what they wanted, I think.
No, I would like to think the 2-foot teleporter was not what they had in mind. So just going to go ahead and swap over to the Tracer once again. As we go back into the Winston Zarya look here from 303. Regen just sitting way up on the high ground. Very top shelf tree house. Clash trying to dive up, gets stunned immediately, was down to about 150 health, forced to back off. The rest of the team's still in the fight. Greg's going to pick up Magic Mayball to start things off. Immortality Field, well, not able to keep the Brig alive. HK's going to push through, get 2 kills. What a slick move by the Genji to open up this defense.
So far, good start. I mean, they started out on the non-dive, and they just eventually just go towards it. Of course, that alt-hook combination on first, you always hope that there's someone hiding up there, but he didn't even need it to win that first fight. So good on 303, starting to get some momentum. And of course, they need all the momentum they can get.
Well, HK here to keep the momentum flowing. Blade out, Immortality Field there. Once again, a little bit of a late kill on the infield, but does eventually take it and Cole ADC down. First point picked up as the healer is able to find some kills, get in the mix as well.
So far, it has been looking like it's all 303, but we saw this happen before on Numbani. And just because you get good momentum on your attack doesn't mean you're going to get a good defense or that you're going to complete the map in the first place. Gibraltar, a heavily momentum-based map. If you can win that first fight, especially on a dive, you can just keep snowballing on and on and on. Get these staggered respawns, get the forward respawns. Just be able to portion up your ultimates as well. Positioning is going to be dominant. And it's really how fast they can get the third if they get there. That's where you can really see how much that momentum is able to be broken or not. Because first is equal, and then by the time they get the third, it feels sort of equal again.
Yeah, I expect 303 to make short work of point B here in the hangar. They're able to take up those high grounds, get the advantageous positions, and should be able to break open the bunker. We'll see how much time is left, because without any changes, I mean, I think Regen's going to have the advantage defending point C. They might even put the brakes on this thing entirely.
Yeah.
But it looks like we are going to take a quick break here. Y'all hydrate, and we'll see you back here for the conclusion of Watch Point Gibraltar in just a little bit. We're back in the action here in Watch Point Gibraltar. 3:03 on their attack. 5 minutes in the bank as they just opened the hangar doors. Headed through point B. And already with this positional advantage up here on the shuttle. But it's Cool ABC finds first blood here in the second engagement. With Ani down, unable to pop that rally. This could be difficult. Nano Boost onto Akash. Primal Rage in use. He's got a couple people trapped inside of the shuttle. Didn't take advantage. So far, no. Ship just gets pummeled into the dirt. Evening up the odds. 5v5 left here on point B. Rally out from the defense. Ant Matrix there. Just gonna look like 303 is just gonna back right on out of that. They said, nope, no fam, we don't want that fight.
I mean, they just had a soft reset, and now they're going in a cash once again on, and Cool ABC under pressure will not quite be taken out. Oh, will be taken out by HK. Chopper out with a blade, gets nothing because they all just run away from him. Shit isn't spot,
yeah. Flux went in from the defense, but the offense of Graviton Surge came out. Kills from both sides. 2 for the attacker, 3 for the defense, and it's HK looking to make the difference. Finds one, looking for the Baptiste, finds the Baptiste. Now it's a Genji versus Tracer duel on the back of point B. Honest shows up to reinforce this Genji.
Yeah, and this is where the momentum gets broken, but the ultimates aren't quite there for Regen. So even if they can hold here for one fight, which says they can do it for more, because the Nano Winston and the Pulse Bomb are likely going to be back in the next fight. Cool ABC finally switching off the McCree. It's time. It's happening. Will it be enough? Will it actually get the value on the Ashe? That is still remains to be seen. So far, Cool ABC has been looking great on the Ashe in the past few weeks. But the McCree wasn't necessarily too bad.
No, definitely found some value at the back of Numbani there. HK taking down that Ashe early, though. Pulse Bomb comes out, and the Nano Boost once again goes on to Akash. Pulse Bomb did a lot of damage, and Akash there to clean it up. Finds 2 kills already, trying to take down the Orisa. Gets the Orisa. Now spots some squishy targets up high. Drops the Primal Rage late in the fight. Try to put some pressure down on this Tracer. Forces out those cooldowns. And turning attention on a Magic 8-Ball, who's the only one holding down the cart. Both of the above-aforementioned defense sent back to spawn. Point B picked up.
Yeah, quite a bit of time left in the bank as well. Lava almost picked up, but at least give a lot of ult charge over to Zeus. But I've got a tip for Cool ABC. You know, they tried to go over to the Ashe, but your problem wasn't your hero, Cool ABC. It was that you were once again on your own on the high ground somewhere. It's not what you need to do, because they have dived, they jumped you, and you're dead. Exactly what happened twice in a row. We'll see this Torbjorn now come out from them, and that will probably be a more team-based play. Also harder to dive, has that overclock. be able to be a little bit more threatening with that. Nice pulse bomb, doesn't quite hit anything, but the turret is at least down.
HK had dove into the back. Now pulling out, well, it's Chopper pulling out the blade, excuse me. Finds nothing. It's HK getting the kill, and now it's his turn to go slicing and dicing. Trying to attack a rallying Brig, though, not finding much luck. Zeus finding better luck, able to take down the Orisa. The cash goes down, but Zeus eventually finds 2 more kills. That makes it 3 total there for the Tracer. They lose Ani along the way, but win the fight, get this card around the final corner.
Yeah, it's been quite an unstoppable force. It happened a little bit on point B, but right now, able to push through hard. And once again, I mean, could we see is 40% to a Molten Core? You would hope they had done a little bit more in that last fight, but unfortunately not. Zeus does get taken out here. It's a little bit more breathing room for the side of Regen, and they have built some ultimates. They're gonna go on the aggressive. I don't think they catch anything with a Critic Flux. Oh, they catch a Cash. Well, I mean, he's basically in his spawn. He'll be back in a few seconds. Alexio and Greg will get caught out on that flank, though.
Yeah, bit of a stacker coming through. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely a reset coming through. So much needed breathing room taking Zeus out early in that fight. Zeus able to build these pulse bombs literally every single fight. Just a testament to how much value and how much damage Zeus is doing. Already another one online.
I mean,
Graviton Surge, good
right?
Pairing. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they have almost everything. They don't just have the rally, and I think they're just gonna go either the Nano Winston or the Nano Blade.
Seen a lot of the Nano Winston. Oh, well, Pulse Bomb taking down all the equipment. Immortality Field, Supercharger gone. Graviton Surge coming out. Kosh releases the Primal. So far, no Nano out. And H-Key drops. 3rd kill there for the defense. Half of 303 already back in spawn. Chopper trying to send Alexio to join him.
Yeah, it was a good defense. I mean, a lot came out, but it wasn't quite enough. I mean, the Pulse Bomb gets the turret and the Immortality Field. You gotta think that is when they throw out those other ultimates, because there's no Immortality Field to block them. But unfortunately, that couldn't happen because there was still so much online on the other side that was used against them. This Nano Blade is better find value, though. This is when they can engage with that rally. A cash is back on that Reinhardt that we saw them pull out once on Numbani for about 10 seconds. And now they'll be able to show if they can do it for a bit longer.
This is the last opportunity, the last good one, I think, for HT and company. 303. They're able to find 1 with that blade. Make that 3 in all from HT on the blade. The Nano proving very fruitful, as it's a 4K in all before things are said and done here for HT. Now, 40 seconds on the clock. 303 have their sights set on the back of Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, and of course, once again, you can see that they're really good at capitalizing on these players that are slightly away from the team of Regen. HK just goes through the high ground, goes over that edge on the side, over that pipeline, and just sees that solo Baptiste on the high ground. They probably called it out already. Like, HK, there's a Baptiste on the high ground, alone. You know, go get him. And before the Baptiste can even throw the Immortality Field, I think they heard the blade and thought, oh, my team's under attack. Throw the Immortality Field. But they didn't know that the Genji was coming for them. And eventually, there's just nothing to be done about that. Like, HK just gets 3 kills with that Dragon Blade and just opens everything up. There will be another defense here, but it's going to be more last minute.
And it's going to be very rushed, I think. No, maybe it might be enough time for Regen to get their feet planted, but it's going to be super close. I just
There's
picture
4 respawns ready right now, so they're still underneath. It's going to be not that easy. I think they can hold them in the door almost, but they don't have that many ultimates to do it. Probably the rally. That'll be the thing they have to use for that.
But back to HK's blade, I just picture CJ up on the high ground, like looking down, looking all around, and HK standing there with his sword out and just kind of taps him on the shoulder with it. Like, by the way, I'm right behind you. Slash!
Yeah, exactly. At that point, it's almost like the one where you just say, I'm behind you. And then when they turn around, you turn with them. So you're still behind them. Like, it was just, of course, the Dragon Blade doesn't last long enough for that. But I think that would have been really funny if HQ was able to pull that one off.
In the
right
end,
now, though, of course, it's
a
very successful blade, and that was necessary. I mean, they really needed to get that value, and it's almost a shame they couldn't pull that out in the fight before, because then they would have had some other ultimates left for the next fight, and now they'll only have a rally. Nothing else is even remotely close, and that will be hard to fight against something like a Gravitic Flux that's going to come out on the other side, and the Molten Core as well.
Chopper making the swap off the Genji, going over to the McCree here for the final stand for Regen. Magic 8-Ball with a good pick, start things off. 25 seconds on the clock. Oh, and another great pick. Shift with a beautiful Occlusion Hypersphere combo. Sends a Cash back to join his teammates back in spawn. 10 seconds on the clock. Can anybody even get back in touch here?
Maybe a Wrecking Ball. He has to not be stunned up. 4 seconds and a Dream. The hamster is quite a roly boy, and the Genji and the Wrecking Ball both make it there. HK and a Cash on the point. A Cash already down, and now it's going to be up to HK and team and crew to get something done, but it doesn't look like this is going to be the map completion.
No, HK was already sub 50% health before he ever even touched the ground. That was minimal hope for them completing that region, able to capitalize and stay on top.
Still a very, very good attack up until that last point. Got a lot of momentum, and indeed momentum was broken on third. That's where you see it happen often, and if it happens, that can hold there for infinity. It's not uncommon to see Gibraltar end in roughly this position with only like 1 or 2 meters to go. So it will still be up to Regen to try and match this, because it's not an easy feat. It's not like you're guaranteed gonna get to that third point. You need to win those fights to get the momentum in the first place, and so far we haven't seen Regen really play dive. It's not necessarily, I mean, it's not necessary on Gibraltar, but you do see where all that high ground that there is merit to do so. And of course the defense is going to run it again. 303 is ready for it. They don't want to be 3-0'd, but they will. I mean, they potentially still will. It's very possible, but they're going to go with the tried and true. This is the comp they play. This is the comp they want to play. We might see some experimentation, or at least some changes coming out on the other side. Of course, they are still in spawn, so no guarantees. So this dive has to be able to jump down and then jump back up again, and jump down and jump back up again. So like you fall without using cooldowns to then be able to jump back up when you need to get out and get healed again. And that whole tandem, 1 by 1, you go in, I go in, you go in, I go in. It's almost like stalling a control point or something like that. And that's really what they need to do if they want to stall this out and actually be able to play their comp.
A lot of good tag in, tag out. We are getting something a little bit different here as the pirate ship is full steam ahead here for Regen. Pulling out the Torb and the Bastion. All of the turrets on point right now to protect against the ensuing dive. HK falls. Cool ABC able to put that gun to good use right out of the gate. Now the cart just slowly making its way down through car wash.
Yeah, so far not really able to do the jump down because of course the Bastion will just kill a target before they even can think of jumping back up. Cash bounced that as well.
Yeah, Kosh learning that the hard way, I'm afraid, as he finds the business end of that Bastion. Zeus still just kind of looking in from the outside, looks scared, looks timid, like I don't want to run in on that, but I've got to make a move. So there they go, they're going to push in, but Chopper takes Zeus out of the fight. Akash still there trying to make something happen. HK desperately trying to find an angle on full ABC, but there's none to be found here on point A.
Yeah, they want to be able to find that. They want to be able to kill that Bastion. But that's really the one kill they're almost never going to get because of all the sustain that's being pulled into it. They're even running the double turret composition with the Bastion and the Torbjorn. It's almost a disrespect, but it's not, because it's just the perfect thing to play against that composition. They have almost no range. They need to get on top of you, and by the time they do, the Bastion has already damaged way too much for them.
Oh, they're putting in so much damage before the dive can even finish staging. Cool ABC finds 2 with the ultimate, and Matrix in the back helping to take them down. Should be able to find a kill towards the back of the fight. This card's not slow and classy.
What do you do when you are in fact 303? You gotta switch over to the Zenyatta. That's a good start because you can get that Discord orb on the Bastion, and they did take so much more damage on any target, of course, but the Bastion seems to be their prime focus. And with that blade, with that nano blade, that should be almost a guarantee that you can kill that Bastion. But you need to not be stunned up and molten core or anything by the enemy team, because even if they dive now, if they go in and the molten core just covers everything the Bastion sits on, they'll never be able to kill him in time before they die. And even if they do, they'll be too softened up to continue the rest of the fight.
Let's see, yeah, exactly what he was waiting on. Preemptively reads it like a book, but HK able to duck and dodge around the floor of lava. Find several kills with that nano blade. Finally put a stop to this cart, but there's over 5 minutes left in this time bank. and plenty of ults for Regen to work with as they come back into this fight.
Yeah, I mean, lava is hot, but it turns out Nanoblade is just a tiny bit hotter. You know, I always imagined that Genji just gets like, you know, that blade is just made of molten steel at that point, just carves through everything like a hot
Maybe a
guy through
lightsaber.
butter. You know? Yeah, that's
wielding a
Zeus
lightsaber at that
going
point.
down. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, the swap's coming through. Courtesy and Chopper going to Genji and McCree respectively. Find 2 kills to start off this fight. Here come the tank ultimates. Slept out of it, but not before Shift can find the kill onto HE. Chopper able to finally take down Alexio. And this looks like Regen all the way, barring a miracle defense coming up from the other end. Greg able to get a charge kill right out of spawn. Bob thrown out from Zeus, but Zeus himself cannot survive the fight. Greg just stuck. Forced to watch the payload push in from the balcony. Just an onlooker, not even part of that fight there, Classy.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because you have to use all those dive ultimates in order to get that Bastion of the card, and then they just swap. It's vanilla. They might even have 1 or 2 more ultimates to the bank on the rest of their team, and they just win. Like there's nothing else to be done about that. So 303 did indeed get 3-0'd by Regen here, but they did show us that they are trying to take a different approach to what the meta is nowadays. They want to play that dive, which could work very well, but it's just not quite to the standard that they're able to compete with double barriers. They're not quite able to compete with a team like Regen, and that's okay. I mean, you're not here to, you know, immediately get picked up for Overwatch League. You're here to show that there's prospect. That's what the Prospect Cup's all about. It's in the title. And 303 definitely a team that has been showing a lot of prospect lately, a lot of potential. And we hope to see more of them, of course. But Regen will move on in this tournament. We'll be facing off against the winner of Avoided versus Lunaris. And then we, on the stream, will be going to 303 Esports again against Mind Your Manners in the Lex game.
And we will have the Regen versus Avoided / Lunaris match coming at you tomorrow. But
exactly,
like we just mentioned, we're headed to losers bracket for our 3rd series of the evening. We'll have the up and coming Stars Adore and Moxie taking over for that one. So this will be all from Man of Class and myself here today, but y'all stick around as we do have a 3rd series coming up. We appreciate you hanging out, and well, we'll see you next time. Y'all stick around as we have more Prospect Cup action in just a few moments.